everybody. Today we're going to look at the change of base formula for logarithms. And basically what's going on is that we sometimes need to evaluate logs that are not powers of the base and are not common or natural logs. So what we need is a formula that allows us to simplify these expressions. And what we have is this overall change of base formula that says if you have the log base b of m, you can change it into the log base x of m over the log base x of b, so you can change the base. What is generally the most helpful is then to go to either the natural log or the common log because they are in scientific calculators. So if you have the log base b of m, you could say the natural log of m over the natural log of b, so ln in your calculator, or if you like common log better, you can do the log of m over the log of b. What's important is placement here. Make sure m is going on top, b is going on bottom. It does make a difference. And watch the notation, like watch your parentheses. What I would encourage you to do is kind of try these as you're watching this video to make sure the number you get matches the number I get. That'll tell you if you're missing a parenthesis or something. Let's start with finding the value, and we're going to approximate to 3 decimal places of the log base 7 of 180. I'll do both just to show you that we could do the natural log of 180 over the natural log of 7. And then I'll switch up and we'll do the common log as well. So I'll just go to a regular calculator and show you the natural log of 180. And I'll divide by the natural log of 7. And it says 2.6686. So 3 decimal places will say 2.669. Now, just to show you, it would be the same if I did the log. I'll hit the log of 180. And then I'm going to divide by the log of 7. So notice that I have to put the log in twice. Once for the numerator, once for the denominator. But I get the same value that we're going to call about 2.669. And I'll just write underneath that I also did the log of 180 over the log of 7. Let's do it again. I have the log base 9 of 4,053, so I can do the natural log of 4,053 over the natural log of 9, or I could do the common log of 4,053 over the common log of 9. So we're back to the calculator, and I'm going to hit natural log first, 4053, divided by, let's do the natural log of 9. And as comparison, we'll do the log of 4,053 and then the log of 9. Now notice, as soon as I hit log, it puts a parenthesis, so I want to remember to always close it so it gives me the right value. When I hit enter, again, I get the same thing. So we're going to call this 3.78. The 07, I'm going to round that 7 up, so I get 3.781. Let's try that with some kind of different looking numbers. So I have the log base 0.2 of 9. So let's try the natural log of 9 divided by the natural log of 0.2. And again, notice I am closing parentheses every time. There's my answer. Watch if I did it wrong. If I did the natural log of 9 and I forgot to close my parenthesis, let me show you what's going to happen. It says error. What happened there? And let's say quit, so it'll show you back. The natural log of 0.2 is a negative number, so it tried to do 9 divided by a negative, which was negative, and it tried to take the natural log of a negative number, which is not possible. So it is really important that you're paying attention to close the parenthesis before you put the next log in. And that would be the same if I go back to a regular log. I also want to do the same kind of notation. So both of these, I see negative 1.365. So this was negative 1.365. One more, I have the log base 5 of 1 over 256. Now, one thing that I could do here, just because it's a 1, I could say this is the log base 5 of 1 minus the log base 5 of 256. Log base 5 of 1 is 0 minus the log base 5 of 256. And you would see that I got rid of the fraction, so I don't have to put a fraction in. I could just do negative the log base 5 of 256. I still need the change of base, right? I don't know the log base 5 of 256. 256 is not a power of 5, it's even, so it's not going to work out there. So what I'm going to have is like negative the natural log of 256 over the natural log of 5. Let's just do it that way this time. Then I got a shortcut to show you. So I'm going to put a negative because I need to have that in there. And then remember we had the natural log of 256. and then I have divide by, and I have the natural log of 5. And it says it's about negative 3.445. So the good news is we have great technology, and a lot of calculators can now do change of base. So it used to be that no calculators did change of base, like we had to use this formula, but now we have things like the TI-84 and we have Desmos that could do the change of base by itself. So I'm going to go back to the TI-84 first to show you that, and then we'll switch to Desmos. That way you have some choices. So this is TI-84 that I've been using, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to hit math. And when I go to math, I see a bunch of choices. I'm going to go up. And what I'm looking for is this A where it says log base. So let's go up there. I'm going to push enter and see how it brings in the subscript. So I could say, oh, let's do the log base 2 of, let's just make up a number, 142. So I'm not having to go back to the natural log of 142 divided by the natural log of 2. I want you to see we get the same answer. But because I have this thing where I can hit math and then I can go up until I find A that says log base, this allows me to do some of the ones we were doing earlier, like we had 0.2 of 9, right? So this should save you some time, is doing this. So that's one choice if you happen to have this calculator. If you don't have this calculator, not a problem. So our other option would be to come to Desmos. So the first thing I want you to see in Desmos is you can just type log, L-O-G, and then you can put in a number. So if I wanted the log of 10, see how it says 1, or if I want the log of 1,000, it tells me 3. If I want to change the base, I do L-O-G, and then I'm typing like the underline. So the underline, like underscore, that makes it go down, and then I could put maybe 5 of, let's do 72. This saves us from having to do like log of 72 divided by log of 5. And again, see that same kind of answer, but it's much shorter when we can just hit this underscore. So if you don't like that using typing, you can also hit functions and then go down to where it says calculus. So in calculus, there's exponents, ln, log, and then loga. So hit that one. Notice it brings it in and goes down to begin with. So maybe type 2. And then you can put in a number like 0.009 and it gives you the answer. So 2 different ways to do it, but really, really nice that you can put these into this calculator. So even if we had something like what we had earlier, like log base, I'm going to do 4, but let's do a fraction like 1 over 500. I didn't have to do anything to change it over. I can just directly type into here. If there was a coefficient, I can go back and put it in there. If you type wrong, you can edit it really easy. So you know me, Desmos is my first choice, my go-to when I'm going to use some kind of calculator. And I hope that makes it helpful. That way you don't have to go spend money. You can just come in here and look at it. We'll do lots more with logs and solving equations, but it's really important that you know this change of base to get you to numbers that you cannot do in your head. Good luck.